Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to the Dr. UUT channel. Today we are going to talk about the physiology of the cardiovascular system. This video is in English and available in Urdu. You can search it out. So, what is cardiovascular system? First, as the name indicates, cardio and vascular means this system is composed of the heart and the blood vessels. So, coming towards the heart. Heart is composed of four chambers, and its main function is pumping, so it is a pumping organ. And now physiologically, what will we study? That the role of each and everything, starting from the location. Where is this heart located? For the heart we use special terminology that is called the heart is located in the mediastinum. Now what is mediastinum? And then we say that this heart is a little bit tilted towards the left. So I would make you people understand about this term. In between the lungs, behind the sternum, the portion is called mediastinum. Heart is there, okay, in the mediastinum. Then it is a little bit tilted towards the left side. Means it is a little bit moved, like structure is formed, a projection like structure towards the left side. So this is called the location point of view. Then we will come towards the side and wall. We have two sides, right and left, and four chambers, and we have number of walls, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right atrium and ventricle, they share a wall that is having three flaps, known as tricuspid wall, and between the left atrium and ventricle is having a structure of two flaps, known as bicuspid or mitral valve. And the valve present in the pulmonary artery and aorta is the semilunar valve. Why is it called semilunar? Because it shapes like the moon, half moon. That's why it is called is semilunar valve. Now we are studying physiology. So in the physiology we will mention the function of these valves. Now the function of these valves is that they provide one direction flow to the blood. Like the blood will come from the atria to the ventricle, like this valve will close, then this valve will open, semilunar valve. The blood will move towards the lungs, from the lungs will come back to the left atria, then through this valve will enter to the ventricle, to the bicuspid valve. So through the bicuspid valve it enters the left ventricle. From here the blood will move through aorta to the whole body. So that's the one direction flow provided by the help of these valves. So this is the function of valves. Next is the tissue layers that are forming this heart. Generally, three types of tissue layers combined together, they make the heart. The internal structure by endocardium, which faces the blood, and the myocardium, the contraction mechanism that is being done by this layer because it is forming the muscle, the muscular layer. And the muscles, you know, I know and we know that it is doing the contraction. And the pericardium, the outermost layer, that is giving forming a bag for the heart, a sac for the heart. And know what is the reason of forming the sac and what is its function further? Physiologically, pericardium is responsible to do the protection of the heart. Protection of the heart against what? Against it will stop or it will limit the extra extension of the heart. So the pericardium limits the extension of the heart, means if the heart is contracting or relaxing, so it will not move, its shape will not be destroyed due to this bag-like structure provided by the pericardium. And it is also providing a kind of very easy way of contraction and relaxation due to decreasing the friction. So this is also reducing the friction by means of the serous layer. Pericardium is further composed of two layers, outer and inner. The outer one is further composed of two layers, fibrous and serous. The fibrous is protecting it against to limit the extension of the heart, means the heart will not extend, and means abnormal extension is being blocked by this. And the serous layer is providing the reducing the friction by means of secreting the fluid in between the serous and fibrous. Here is a space known as pericardial space. In this space, the serous layer will release the fluid, so that fluid will then reduce the friction. Like this, it will do the protection of the heart. So then we will come back towards the second layer, the myocardium layer, which is involved in the contraction of the heart. And this myocardium layer is further, this tissue layer is further formed by the combination of three types of specialized cells. Known as number one, pacemaker cell, number two, conduction cell, number three, contraction cells. The pacemaker cells are known as sinoatrial node, atrioventricular node, and we have a number of others also. So these two are the pacemaker cells, but we call more to the pacemaker cell, we give the name just to the sinoatrial node because of its prominency, or you can say dominancy. Means it is 60 to 80 times more stronger, and in case of generation of the impulse. So this will create the pace, the current for the heart muscles to contract. So this is called the pacemaker cells. Now this impulse will be carried by some other cells known as conduction cells. And then at the end what will happen, these conduction cells will bring that impulse to the muscles which are supposed to do the contraction. Then they are given the name as contraction cells. Now these contraction cells are doing the contraction as it is a muscle. So the main difference between this muscle and skeletal muscle is just because of its branch structure. Rest of the mechanism is just like that of the muscles of the skeleton. So skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles are performing the contraction in the same way, but the main difference is that it is branched, and the second main difference is it is going through the mechanism of syncytium. Now what is syncytium? Generally syncytium means the flow of cytoplasm between the cells, adjacent cells, or you can say when cytoplasm is sharing number of nuclei, that is also called as syncytium. But here when we see to the structure, the muscle is not sharing any kind of cytoplasm because of the striations we see here, the wall, the gap between the cells, one cell, second cell, you can say the nuclei are the dots. These nuclei are being separated by the walls, known as gap junctions. Then how it is called syncytium? Well, the reason is that because these cells have got a very important function, that is, if one cell becomes excited, the next cell will become excited due to this first cell. Like this, the number of cells will become excited. So all the cells will then become excited. The reason is that because of the gap junctions. These gap junctions are permeable for the ions. So when this becomes excited, the ions will diffuse through this gap junction to the next cell. Like this, the mechanism will go, and all the cells will undergo the process of the excitation. Like this, the muscles will do contraction, and this kind of muscles contraction is done known as syncytium. Why? Because one cell is doing the contraction, all are doing the contraction. Now this is called as physiological condition, physiological syncytium. So in case of the cytoplasmic syncytium, cytoplasm was being shared, here the impulse is shared. So that is called cytoplasmic syncytium, and this is called physiological syncytium. That's it. And coming towards the next, that is actions of the heart. Our heart undergoes certain actions, certain effects, known as inotropic effect, dromotropic effect, bathymotropic effect, chromotropic effect. Well, I will make you people understand in a very easy way. An impulse is supposed to be generated. So the force of impulse is first identified, and we study that force of identification of the impulse in the inotropic effect. Then that impulse is supposed to flow by means of atrioventricular node to the contraction cells, contractile cells. So those cells which are supposed to do the contraction. Now this is being done by the these cells known as the bundle of His. So these conduction cells are supposed to transfer the impulse in a certain velocity. So that velocical understanding is done in the dromotropic action or in the dromotropic effect. And bathymotropic effect. What is bathymotropic effect? When the impulse reaches the cell, then the cells are supposed to do the contraction. After the contraction, first they are supposed to be excited. So this excited is studied under the heading of bathymotropic effect or bathymotropic action. Then we have chromotropic action, CHROMO, chromotropic action. In this we study about the rate of the contraction, a rhythm. If rhythm is increased or decreased, we will put them in the category of, or we will study this in the tachycardia and bradycardia in case of the chromotropy. In case of bathmotropy, if it is increased excitation or decreased excitation, we will call that as positive and negative. And the same is the case with the dromotropic. If velocity increases, we will call it as the positive dromotropic action, and if the velocity decreases, we will call it as decreased or negative dromotropic. And if the force of contraction increases, positive inotropic, and if decreases, negative inotropic. So this effect is functional due to the sympathetic and parasympathetic actions, and we will study